we wanted to talk a little bit about Sasha Banks because the report came out first from pwinsider.com that Mercedes Varnado, Sasha Banks, was supposed to, or is scheduled to appear at Wrestle Kingdom in some capacity, not wrestling on the show. And then there was further reporting from the Wrestling Observer that she is like verbally committed to dates with New Japan, but she is under the belief like her deal would be up with WWE at the end of the year. But of course, there is always that like freezing situations or WWE coming to her with some last minute offer to hold things off. It seems like there is the expectation that she is committed to these dates, but still the possibility that, you know, an 11th hour deal could come down and she could have different options on the table. So certainly what this represents is the possibility of a really big deal for New Japan, and I would say by extension Stardom. Like Stardom having dates on her for the new year would be gigantic for awareness of their product. And certainly like this could be a major story if, you know, all of this comes together in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I mean, no matter what she chooses to do after WWE, I think it's a pretty major story. But especially like, you know, having to do with New Japan Pro Wrestling, the Wrestle Kingdom, Stardom, it's incredibly fascinating. I find sort of like all the discussion about like the ifs and of like whether this is actually confirmed or whether it could still change. I find that really fascinating because you know, we're talking about a company.
There's a bunch of red flags that go up, like the idea of
somebody could get really screwed here, you know, like, and it's not like they've advertised, you know, Sasha Banks, but expectations are there. But
we've seen enough examples of people thinking like their deals are up, and like Dax Harwood. I know this is a different company, but Dax Harwood stating, "I think my deal's up next April." Like these talents are. Like, I don't know. The whole freezing thing to me is one where it's like I am not a legal expert, but it just seems like that is a major issue that I would combat if my future was at stake and I had all these offers on the table.
But do you want to enter a legal battle with the WWE?
Well, that's the scary part, and no one
and have your career frozen even longer than whatever the contract.
And it comes with a cost on top of it. So like there's enough in this that I do not think this is rubber stamped as a guarantee is happening. Other than like it seems like there is the intention of carrying all of this through.
But what's fascinating to me is that, you know, we're talking about Bushi Road, and it seems like there is at least some form of communication and maybe even some form of working agreement at this point between the WWE and New Japan Pro Wrestling in the form of what they're choosing to do with Carl Anderson.
He's taking care of business in Japan this week.
I mean, at least they went as far as to acknowledge that, Carl Anderson is in Japan doing something, right? So I can't imagine like, you know, like the possibility of some sort of like respect, you know, for the other promotion, I have to think is still there. Like, is this a case where the WWE would pull the rug from under Bushi Road? Again, we know so little about what the contract is. We know so little about what Sasha Banks's or Mercedes Monet's you know, dealings with Bushi Road are, that we can only kind of like speculate almost as fans at this point.
Yeah, well, and I mean, if she is under a WWE deal still, like she can't sign somewhere else yet. I mean, that is all contingent on one deal ending so that you can enter another one. So anyway, wanted to just kind of bring people up to speed on where things are there. But
the other thing, of course, is the Saraya partner tease. You know,
of course, and that's
AEW.
I mean, that is only going to increase that speculation as well. So I would say if AEW does not have that lockdown, that would be a case of, much like the Survivor Series, if you're leaving that surprise, it's going to lead people in one direction, and you're going to want to fill out that surprise beforehand, because it's going to be a letdown now if it's not her, because AEW has not teased that, but your audience is going to naturally go that direction with January 11th right around the corner.